big stuff. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta get this out my pocket. Look at this big ass phone.
Okay, I'm here with Jay Pharoah, one of the stars of Saturday Night Live. You got a new special out on Showtime, Jay Pharoah, Can I Be Me? Got a lot of jokes in there, you got a lot of impressions, but does anyone ever call you up and say, I didn't like your impression of me? Did you ever get feedback like that, negative feedback, people angry about the way you're doing them in your stand-up act?
It was just one that was really publicized, and that was that really had a problem, and that was Shannon Sharpe.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you, Seth. It is positively a pleasure to be here.
Listen, I wouldn't impersonate Shannon unless I kind of like Shannon. I think he's cool, man. I like watching him. It's very fun watching Shannon Sharpe. I don't believe it sounds like me. I was like, what? I don't believe he sounds like me. That's what he was saying.
Okay, that's the translation. We'll put in subtitles.
That's the subtitles. I said that's the subtitle.
Okay, you also do Jay-Z.
Y'all know I've made 17 albums, opened a chain of nightclubs, started a clothing line, and married the most beautiful, famous woman in the whole world.
You do Will Smith.
Because even though my kids are the most hyper-mature teenagers in history, they are easily shocked by anything remotely sexual, you know what I mean?
You do Obama.
Good evening, my fellow Americans.
In the stand-up, you actually you talk about hearing from Kanye West, right?
What better way to start off your morning than with our energy, my opinions, and the sound of Kim's voice?
Yes, I did hear from Mr. West, but he's a good dude, man, and it was no problem. He just he told me about himself for 11 minutes, so that was fun.
Of course, on Saturday Night Live, you're famous for playing Obama on the show.
The reason I asked you all here is because we only have until the end of March to get something done in the Middle East.
How did you first land the gig to be on SNL, and how did you get the job of playing Obama?
Well, you have to sacrifice a lot of sleep to get on SNL. You know, it's the constant grind. So I was a zombie for like at least a couple of years, you know, and then I got the call. That's a lie. So it didn't happen. Listen, this is what happened. Lorne Michaels called me. I auditioned. I auditioned for the show. 3 weeks later, Lorne Michaels called me up and he said, "Are you ready?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Is that easy? When you got it, that's how easy it is.
He was just like, "Are you ready to come to New York?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." And I told my mom, I was like, "I'm leaving," and she cried. And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm gone." I'm happy about this. I get to live in New York myself. I'm away.
That's right.
Now, what are the secrets to doing a great President Obama impersonation?
You have to notice his pauses.
So, I brought in a friend. Liam, come in here.
I said if he was ordering some food, it would take him a long time to do it when he could easily say something that would be cohesive, but no, he wants to stretch it out. So he's like, okay, I want to get I like 2 all beef patties, special sauce. You got to get the whistles. He does that, you know. Special sauce, 3 sesame seed buns, cheese, lettuce. And, sir, you want a Big Mac? Yes, I do. Why you just say Big Mac? I don't know. I didn't want to mess it up. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like that. It's taking that time to like dissect it and you know.
What's up? Andy in the house?
Now, a couple years ago, you were very outspoken about diversity in SNL, hoping you get more black women on the show. That's happened. How have things changed? Do you feel like the show is farther to go?
The show always evolves, and it always has evolved. The show has been evolving since the beginning, and that's just what happened. It's just evolved. So it's just, you know, motions happen, and that's what happens with the show. It's nothing new under the sun. The show always changes.
Y'all remember when phones was getting smaller and smaller and smaller? Now they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. By 2017, people will be walking around just like this.
So, of course, you have the stand-up special out.
Yep.
And I'm wondering, who are your comic heroes? You've worked with Chris Rock on Top 5. Are there other folks there that have influenced you, that you look to as your heroes when it comes to comedy?
The people that influence me the most are, one, Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, Bernie Mac, Robin Harris, so of course Richard Pryor. Of course he inspired all those people. You got Dave Chappelle, and you got dang, I've already said past 5, man, but I wish I could get a fantasy 6. Even Robin Williams, like his innate ability to kind of be extra animated, like I feel like I have that too. So I feel like watching all of those guys have really crafted my style.
Do you feel like there's certain things that you wouldn't cross? Do you feel like audiences these days are too sensitive when it comes to comedy?
I feel like as comedians of current day, we're really restricted as far as saying what we want to say. However, if you do cross a line or if you do touch a topic, you got to make sure that the broad, what everybody thinks you're going to talk about, isn't the direction. You got to have a different point with it. The take has to be so precise that it makes you, and so good that it makes you forget about the topic that you started talking about that everybody's latching on to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's, I feel like, I mean, when I go to colleges now, you know, I did a show one time and I was talking about, I did a joke about domestic violence, and there was somebody in the crowd who had gone through something, and, you know, she walked out and she was crying. You know what I mean? She came up to me, she said, I just want to talk to you because, you know, this happened. And I'm like, you know, I didn't mean to offend you. And I mean, if she would have stayed, I always bring it back to a positive note. But she kind of left before that happened. But it's that where people feel like people are directly affected right there from what you say. So automatically, if you say something that they don't like, now they have a frown. Now they're closed like this the whole time, and they're not going to listen to you.
Yeah.
But like I said, you have to, and if you take a point on, you just have to make sure that come around, that central point that you're making is so strong that it makes you forget about that topic that you were touching.